right to a channel of light fluid. And as ever, the calming and piano music returns us to the horror that is Echo. And as we are on Flynn's route, we just left things last time as they were going to the 2015 edition of the Smoke Room. So no, we won't be seeing Sam anytime soon, but that's where we're headed. I suppose we should go there. The smell of decades worth of cigarette smoke and dust hits my nose instantly. Daxton coughs, trying to muffle himself as we see the shadows of various patrons throughout the dimly lit bar. Everything near the counter is illuminated up with a sort of green tinge, while the rest of the establishment has red lighting. Well, in the places it does have lighting. I've never been inside a restaurant or bar this dark before. The walls are mainly decorated with faded 1950s beer adverts, and a mounted CRT monitor near the entrance looks to be streaming an old cricket match. I don't see any bartenders or waiters. Nobody is behind the bar. Huh. Daxton half speaks, half whispers. Maybe we should take a seat so it doesn't look like we're gawking? Yeah, good idea. We move toward the closest table to the entrance. Location leaves us completely enshrouded in darkness. There's a lamp above us, but it looks broken. The copper wiring hanging out where the bulb is supposed to go. Haven't seen Flynn yet, have you? Well, it's hard to see in here. I sort of assumed salamanders had better night vision. No, not yet. Squinting, I try to get my eyes to adjust to the darkness. Two large figures get up from their bar stools and head towards the pool table, each grabbing a cue. They both appear to be equine, middle-aged and male, decked out in polo shirts and slacks. The two wouldn't look out of place on a country club greenway, but here they stand out something fierce. I realise there is a much smaller person behind them, a fennec girl with a big, lengthy head fur that goes down to her shoulders. One of them, the one in the teal polo with the beer gut, set out a rack of pool balls on the table. The other horse with the red polo and grey muzzle fur speaks up, shaking his head and pointing toward the balls in the triangle. I can't make out everything, but it sounds like he's insisting the 8-ball always goes on top. The teal-shirted one lets out a dismissive noise, making a point of placing the 8-ball somewhere in the centre of the rack. I feel my phone buzz in my pocket. Quickly reaching down, I check the message. It's from Leo. We're all going to hang out at your old hood tomorrow. At 2, but good if you came. I sigh. That same welling of guilt takes hold in my chest, like stones in my ribcage. More text from the Evil X. I glance over Dax in surprise, the salamander having turned to face me. Again, I'm wrought with how fucking eerie his bright eyes sticking out of the blackness and staring right at me is. He's not evil. You folk all get super antsy every time he texts you. Like, an ex is just that, an ex. You don't got to worry about them anymore. Daxton crosses his forearms and rests them on the table for a moment before hastily pulling them back. He grimaces, wiping his arms on the fabric of his shirt. Looking down, I can see there's been a while since the service table has been properly wiped down. There's no napkins inside either. I peer at the message again, trying to think of what to say in response. Well, the circumstances are kind of different here. He's been one of my closest friends since I was really young. When I left town for college, we never actually broke up. Oh. The skin on his face pulls tighter, though I can't make out what expression he's making. So he's not actually your ex then? We haven't been together in 3 years. Yeah, before this trip I'd even spoken to him in at least 12 months. That's not exactly true at all now, is it? The heavy feeling in my chest grows stronger. Look, I don't have time to go over the past 15 years of our relationship. He holds up the flat of his rubbery palms. Sorry, just trying to get to know you and all. He turns back around. Smooth, Chase. I type back my reply to Leo. I'll be there. The sound of bellied laughter from the pool table catches my attention. The red poloed equine slaps the back of the smaller fennec, who looks to have just made a pretty nice shot. Her head fur flutters in front of her face, and then slips right off, falling on the pool table. A wig. I realise now the fennec isn't actually a girl at all, at least not physically. Daxton saw it as well, and we exchange a brief glance. The two men don't seem to pay much mind outside of a brief chuckle. Behind them, a red light flicks on, and another group becomes visible at the table to their rear. There's a 30-something German shepherd with pompadour, cut head fur, and a black muscle shirt stretched taut over his large chest. He's watching the billiards game intently. His arms are on the back of the seat next to him, and in that seat is Flynn, staring right at me. Fuck. God, how long's he been there? Could he see us the whole time? Daxton sees him too, the salamander forcing a toothy smile and waving at his roommate from across the bar. Flynn doesn't wave back. He just keeps staring. The seconds pass and nothing happens. We just sit here, and he sits there, and neither of us moves. Eventually Daxton pushes himself up to his feet, and I reluctantly follow suit. Everything goes quiet as we make our way to the other table. Feel a tingling sensation around my whiskers that goes all the way back to my spine. I don't belong here. I can't tell if the pool table group is looking at me, but it feels like they are. Well, holy shit, would you look at that? An otter in my water. The German shepherd speaks up with an accent that sounds more West Coast than Southwestern. He drops his arm from Flynn's chair, beaming at me with his reddish-brown eyes. The canine turns his attention towards Daxton, eyeing him over. The salamander has his hands folded together, smiling nervously. Daxton! Daxton blinks. Evening, have we met? The man chuckles. Nah, I've seen you before. Whenever I come over to Scaleboy's house, you're always in your room all loner-like. Flynn's slitted gaze flicks from Daxton to me. His expression seems to harden before my eyes. What the fuck are you doing here? The scaled fingers curl up into a fist briefly for unfurling, the large lizard fidgeting in his seat. His tie is gone, he's unbuttoned most of his shirt. Okay, play this cool, Chase. I found your phone with the invite to this place. It was all propped up and everything. I say that last part with a bit of an accusing tone. Flynn narrows his eyes slightly. Invite? You didn't tell me you're bringing some friends. Well, that's a first. The shepherd grins again. Tension so thick that you could cut it with a knife doesn't seem to dissuade his cheery demeanour. I didn't. He makes an acknowledging grunt, his gaze flicking between us for a moment. Well, I'm Ryan. You know Flynn and I know Daxton, so who are you? He looks at me expectant. Before I can speak, Flynn does. Chase. His tone is terse, bordering on outright warning. Chase? Ha! Fucking otters are cute as hell. Now you got your wee stubby fingers, plus you're all squeaky and shit. I blanch, not sure whether to be flattered or offended. I look down at my fingers. Ryan just grins, the red light glistening upon the enamel of his fangs. Take a seat, you two. Good to see Scaleboy actually has friends. Daxton looks down at one of the red fabric chairs with a wary demeanour. Well, as long as they're not too sticky. This elicits a throaty, crackling cackle from the dog. It's part of the charm. Oh? Much like yours? Oh, fuck me, man. Good one. I take a seat across from Flynn, who is now staring at a wall. Glancing over, I noticed that Daxton had been standing with his hands folded behind his back, his posture completely vertical. just like Captain Amicus does in Ad Astra. The salamander scoots past and takes a seat beside me, fishes out Flynn's phone from his pocket and slides it over to him across the table. Flynn looks at it for a good 3 seconds before snatching it and shoving it back in his pocket. You're welcome. I didn't ask for this. Daxton just shrugs indifferently. Flynn looks at me again, his expression less intense but still a frown. Hi! A quiet yet shrill-toned voice peeps up from behind us. Turning, I see it's the gender-ambiguous fennec fox from earlier. They quickly walk past us, tugging lightly on Ryan's shirt. They mumble something I can't quite make out, and Ryan practically coos back the little fennec. He reaches up, squeezing their waist, and they make a little noise. Ryan pulls out his wallet, withdrawing a few bills and hands them to the fox. The middle-aged horse duo walks up as well, cues in grasp. The one with the red polo bumps into the fennec, resting a hand on their shoulder. They flinch initially, for a sheepish smile forms upon their lips. The fennec spins around clumsily, nearly toppling over into the table. The older male catches them and keeps them in place. Easy now, desert cutie. They wrap their arms around the equine's girthy midsection, their paws gingerly patting in his back pockets. Oh, you want some money for something from the bar, sweetheart? Don't know where the tender's gone to run off to. Red Polo fetches a $20 bill for the fox, placing the little one's maw. They're treating them like a youngling. The fox looks to be at least 30 years old from the sagging of their face and splotchy fur. Ah, fucking course. Casey's doing that bidding war bullshit again. Flynn takes a swig of his booze. The older men stare at him, suddenly looking a bit uneasy. Red Polo turns, trying to usher Casey away toward the main counter. However, the fox seems to resist. They squirm, quickly writhing out of the equine's grasp and stumbling their way over toward Flynn, nearly crawl on top of Ryan to do so. Everyone seems to freeze in place as the fox pushes their muzzle up close to Flynn's. Flynn looks dull-eyed back at the fennec. I don't got any money for you. It's okay. Just want to make you less grumpy. They look at each other, saying nothing. Flynn parts his lips slightly, and the fox pushes their face against his, Moore's meeting in a deep kiss. His eyes go wide for a moment, then shut tight, returning the affection just the same. My heart feels like it stops, my sweat goes cold. I feel sick, like I want to puke or something. I mean, I'd felt a sort of deep gnawing feeling since I saw Ryan's arm around Flynn, but I guess I wasn't prepared for something so visceral. But I don't do anything. I just sit there and watch. Ryan, meanwhile, grasps the fox's rear, grinning in that Cheshire way he does. Glad to see you're not sourpussing the whole night, Flynn. Are you kidding me right now? Fucking whore. Red Polo turns, leaving his friend behind and making his way toward the exit with a few huffed swears. The teal-poloed male, who's some sort of Shire Clydesdale type, watches him leave but doesn't follow. Says the married man. Casey pulls back from Flynn, a string of saliva still hanging between their lips. Flynn's nostrils flare as he exhales upon the fox's face. This seems to set Casey off, and they kiss him again with even more ferocity. Daxton's looking at me now, his eyes wide. The salamander silently mouths at, "What the fuck?" I don't even have the capacity within me to respond with anything other than a curt nod. Ah, put on a show of their new friends. Teal Polo's looking down at Daxton and I now. Well, I'm not in the festivities. You young'uns want a drink or something? I'm Mike. Nah, we're good. I'll have 2 doubles wherever tequila is the cheapest. Mike blinks. Yeah, I'll be right back then, kid. Let me find the bartender. Rob's back in the smoke room, Seabiscuit. He uses his free hand, the one not currently groping fox ass, and points towards a wooden door in the corner of the room by a potted plastic saguaro. The smoke room? Mike gives Ryan an uneasy look. I get the impression of his demeanour and the casino wristband he's wearing that he isn't a local. Well, I'll be right back then. He forces a smile before turning and heading toward the aforementioned smoke room. Ryan crosses his legs, letting his head roll from side to side before speaking up. Well, I think we should have that too, right, Flynn? Flynn and the Fennec part lips again. The healer looks at me before responding. All right. Man, what's wrong with you? All eyes shift to Daxton now. Flynn grunts. You don't get to be a fucking judge, creep ass. Watching me jerk off a knife I can't stand standing me macking on someone? For fuck's sake. The round-faced salamander's jaw goes slack. No, you've been busted, Daxton. What you're not helping out's a real grave offence. What the hell are you even talking about? Daxton looks to me. I say nothing, thinning my lips. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I truly don't. Hey. Let's not play he said, she said, alright? Daxton, Chase, you like to party? The dog reaches into his pocket. The Fennec turns from Flynn. Biting their lips, they begin to lean on Ryan's shoulder. They wiggle their hips in such a manner that Flynn gets a face full of fuzz. The healer's sputtering a bit. I remind of long bus rides home with Jenna and Flynn back in junior high. Not that Jenna acted anything remotely like Casey, though. Flynn would be the aggressor, putting on a fur and making native jokes until Jenna would donk him right in the nose of the biology textbook. Ryan withdraws a small plastic baggie with about 6 tiny white spheroid dots inside. They kind of look like that expensive pebble ice cream they sell at theme parks. I'd always wished Carl's parents would start selling that stuff. They said it was just a gimmick and it doesn't make the ice cream taste better. He opens the little baggie, placing one of the pebbles on eager Fennec's tongue, then his own. The German Shepherd rises up to his feet. He's large, about as tall as Leo. He extends out the baggie to Daxton and I. Before we can respond, Flynn interjects, swiping the baggie and closing it before handing it back to Ryan. Yeah, nah, fucker. You deciding for him? Bit rumour, man. This shit ain't addictive unless you're depressed or something. Daxton's got a heart condition. I'm fucking pretty sure Chase has got drug tests for summer internships to worry about. Daxton crosses his arms over his chest. Oh yeah, I'm good. Candy from strangers and that whole business too. Speaking of... Mike comes out from the corner door with 2 drinks in his grasp. It's a sort of blank expression as he sets them down in front of me. You have fun back there? Ryan quickly deposits the baggie back into his trousers, pushing his chair in. Flynn stands up as well. Have time for fun. I'd attend to Kid Boozy. Kid Boozy? That sounds like one of them urban rap types. You spit rhymes, Chase? Ryan chuckles. I look down at myself, then back up. Fuck me, no, he doesn't. Seen Chase do cowboy poetry back in school. Not a pretty sight. He looks at me, seemingly uncaring of the fact that Casey's now all up on Ryan and not him. I remember you and Carl got up and did yours about alien abductions and anal probes in the desert, and the principal got so pissed. I let a little huff as the memory comes back to me. Surprised he remembers that. Yeah, didn't start off that way, but UFO round with Lasso, and it was all downhill from there. Anal probes, eh? Ryan grins, reaching over and slugging my shoulder. His angle's off, so it's more like a tap than a punch. Daxton lets out a slightly exasperated noise. That was your takeaway from that conversation? It's not like I got a probe or two up yours, Daxton. Or a lack thereof. Daxton closes his eyes and rubs the flat of his nose, still looking a bit flustered from Flynn's accusation earlier. I clear my throat, speaking up towards the towering equine beside me. But, thank you, sir. I give the large horse a nod of appreciation for taking a hearty glug of one of the glasses. Oh my god, this fucking burns. My muscle pulls into a grimace. I try to swallow as much as I can. I and the glass only got a fourth of the way down the double. Guess I'm a designated driver now. Ryan thumbs back toward the door to the aforementioned smoke room. Hey, you want to join? We're good, Ryan. Flynn basically pushes Ryan's back, shuffling the seemingly attached Casey along with it. A long silence follows. All three of us watch him until they disappear behind the faded wooden door. I let out a long exhale, then placed my face in my paws. I don't know what he meant when he said I watched him jerk off. What the hell's he talking about? I can hear the creaking of the seat across from me. Mike must be sitting down with us. I take it as the highest compliment if someone's watching me beat off. I'm never leaving my room again. I assume you youngins are also new to this dusky establishment, is that right? Mike speaks in a sort of southern drawl cadence that's more bayou than prairie. And if you ain't going to drink that, kid, I'll gladly finish it for you. I uncover my eyes, slowly reaching for the glass of auburn liquid and bringing it again to my lips. The second time doesn't hurt as much. I might just swallow another 4 without any tears. Yeah, this is the first time for me. How did you find out about this place? He crosses his arms, leaning back in his seat. The chair creaks in audible protest to his weight. I was about to ask the same thing of you. Wonder what cute pups like you two would be doing in a place like this. I had a couple of meetings down in Peyton, so I stopped by the casino for a few hours and went on a bandit. So I have one of them sex applications you download to your cell phones, right? Downloaded that all by yourself, did you? Daxon comments dryly. Yeah, well, as long as I get my nephew to help me with that one now, could I? You could just be very awkward, much like this whole night. Daxon stared in the wood grain of the table, tracing it with his fingers. Bit rough, yeah? Well, anyways, on this sex application, this fella starts chatting me up. The huffy one I was just with. He's also staying in the casino. Suggested we come down here have some fun, so I followed suit. The place was packed with fanic folk earlier. They all went back there, though. He points toward the corner door. So, this place is for gay guys, right? That's most probably the case. That okay with you? A slight smile curls up on the edge of Mike's maw, and Daxon is wrought to a brief stutter. I don't give a care, you know. You do you, I'll do me. Maybe I'll do you too, yeah? Oh my god. Daxon looks like he's been slapped, his tail coiling inward. Mike just chuckles in a bassy rumble. Ah, boy, that straightened your curls, didn't it? Did you download that by yourself? Ha! You sassy little shit. My phone vibrates. Is that, a hail from Tactical? Daxon says this, so it's physically pain for him to utter these words. Mike's expression shifts and he looks curiously at the salamander. I check my phone. It's from Flynn. Down in the smoke room, alone. Huh. The empty feeling that had taken hold of me seemed to alleviate some. It's quickly replaced by a whole new sort of anxiety. So maybe he's not leaving me high and dry after all. But what the fuck is he doing? A hail from Tactical? It's a reference. I hold up my phone. Flynn wants to talk to me, I think. Never straightforward with him, is it? I don't know, kids still watch Adastra. What? Daxon's attention snaps so quickly back to Mike, it's almost comical. I'll be right back. You can text Carlos and ask if he wants to come in. I push myself up to stand, realizing my legs feel kind of weak. I hadn't noticed much of the time, but they were shaking earlier, something fierce. There's a no smoking sign hanging from the corner door. A little irony, I guess. With a low breath and a straightening of my shirt, I pull the handle and step inside. Okay, so I flipped through that on my own time, and a lot of that, even some of the background images are kind of for YouTube. So if you've read this Root and Echo, you know exactly what's going on with all that stuff, but I don't think I can read it out and put it on YouTube. So we're just going to skip that whole scene in the smoke room, picking it out here. So Chase and Flynn have come outside to have a chat here. Hope that fills it in enough. Of course, you fucking brought Carl too. We come to a stop just outside the building, next to a small wash that winds by the parking lot. It's amazing how fresh the air tastes in contrast to the outside. I can feel the smoke in my fur even now. The bottoms of my feet are also stickier, from sources I'd rather not contemplate. For some reason I'm a bit shaky, like it's cold or something. Still feels above 60 degrees out here though. The healer crosses his arms over his chest. His expression remains indiscernible, though his demeanour is twitchier than normal. So am I, though. So you and Carl are like best friends. Why are you so upset that he's here? Flynn frowns. Told you earlier, dipshit. This wasn't supposed to be some big-ass gathering. Never thought I'd say this, but you seem like you're ashamed or something. Which, I mean, makes sense. This place is like... Flynn cants his head some, already defensive. What? Like stuff you'd read about, stuff that doesn't actually exist. Flynn waves dismissively, making a sort of disgruntled noise. I don't know what you want, Chase. I got a feeling about what you think you want, but not what you really want. So tell me what you think you want and we'll go from there. Alright, tit dirt? I dip my paws into my pockets, not sure what to say. Despite the darkness, I can tell Flynn is staring at me with this sort of unyielding gaze. So, guess we're not going to shit in each other's mouths then? He smirks, but stifles himself quickly. He knows I'm dodging. Look at me. Flynn bumps his knuckle beneath my chin to ease my head up. I flinch instinctively. I realise my nerves are more shot than I thought. Calm your shit. He drops his hand. I see his gaze flick to the side, then back to me. Please? That catches me off guard. I had a big breath of air, tugging some of the fabric inside my pockets. The only person I've had sex with prior to this break was Leo. I'm not really ready for this sort of stuff, you know? I mean, Jesus Christ, I didn't even think you were ready for all that, and you're... Flynn, the giant slut. Yeah, I know. We joked about that sort of stuff in there when we were kids. Didn't actually think you'd go this far. Okay, hold on. You're telling me you didn't fuck a single guy for the past 3 years? Yeah. Jesus, fuck Chase. An independent ass adult life in the big city. You're not even that ugly. Your body's got this weird lumpiness shit going on. You smell like a clogged shower drain. Your soul patch makes you look like a hipster cunt. Yeah, you could probably get anyone you wanted. He looks at me like he's going to elaborate on that last remark, but doesn't. Thank you? I reach up, touching my bit of chin scruff again. Still there. I get it. You and Leo being together so long fucked you up. You had your little perfect romance until it wasn't. Your 2 gay kids in backwards ass shitville. Woe to you and all that. Said you weren't the only 2 gay kids. There's one more. Flynn brings his hand up to his temple, rubbing at his brow ridge. He steps offward, moving close to the edge of the wash. Despite everything, I follow him. I came out to you first. Yeah, and that was fucking baffling. He huffs, kicking a crushed beer can into the sandy loam below. You never took a fucking guess? The curtness of my tone takes him by surprise. He turns my way, his slitted eyes seeming to bounce as if he's looking me over. Your horny 15-year-old ass wanted my dick. I uttered a frustrated groan, resisting the urge to shove Flynn into the wash. No, idiot, you're the oldest, and despite how crude you were, I knew you'd know how to handle it in a way that wasn't... I don't know, patronising or something. After everyone found out I was like this, people started treating me differently right away, yeah? I was 18, you're 15. You never took a fucking guess. I furrow my brow, pulling my paws out of my pockets and cross my arms tight over my chest. I was going to take advantage of some tumultuous kid whose balls just dropped. That moral quandary didn't stop our supreme group patriarch, though. After that, folk treated you different because you had a big-ass Latin wolf wrapped around you at all hours of the day. Wind your ass off about all that you want, but you two are fucking just the worst with that PDA shit. Leo bitches about how the group started splitting when we got older, like it was his own damn fault. I must be around that fucking stuff every day. I curl my paws into fists. I don't think I could take Flynn in a fight, but a clean punch to the jaw is starting to feel more and more worth it. So that explains it all then? Gay stuff disgusts you. You think you're disgusting, so you cling to places like this because it's what you think you deserve. I jerked my arm out, pointing to the dilapidated red building beside us. You're a self-hating prick. Flynn stares ahead, going quiet as a large semi-truck passes on the nearby highway. Something seems to change in him, like a switch being flipped. After a moment he blows out a long breath of air before simply shaking his head. Fucking way off mark. Aren't you supposed to be a journalist or something? You two ignored all of our asses. Carl's your best friend, you just fucking dropped him the moment you started riding the dick of Mr. Football. Did wonders for his self-esteem, really. It turned out just peachy, yeah? And teacher, oh man, what a bunch of victims you two were to his just overwhelming Christian persecuting. Flynn, don't be saying bad words in front of him, he's very delicate. Yeah, I'm the bad guy, but you took some sick pleasure in insulting him in his nice-ass fan makes of what he is. Even though you two knew damn well he nor his family is anything close to ill will for us dirty sodomites. Where's Jenna? Remember when you three all used to hang out at Leo's whenever shit got real fucking awful for her? Remember that just stopped when you two started learning your dicks to go in each other's asses? Remember when shit got worse and worse for her? Remember when she changed her name? Remember when Adam killed himself and her dad did that thing? Flynn steps towards me, hunching down nearly a foot to meet my eye level. I heard you at least found some time to give her a ride out of town. She finally had to run away, though. Said you and Leo were fighting that weekend. See, when Leo and I fucked, you didn't see him cooing about everyone in earshot for the next week. I feel my chest going tight. Well, what? Flynn rises to his full, unhunched height. Without another word, he turns and walks past me. What do you mean? My heart pounds and I follow. Where are you going? He rounds a corner and I try to catch up. My foot catches on a root. I slide forward and feel my fur scrape the bark. My body flips somehow and my tail strikes the ground first, bending back and launching me forward like a spring. Next thing I know, my whole body's in the air. I feel the dark sandy ground of the washbed meet my face. My ears ring and I feel blood begin to seep from my nose. I lay there unmoving. I shut my eyes and feel a sting within them. I realize I haven't cried in a long time. Friday. I bring the tripod back on my shoulder, wincing some of the metal pushes against my collarbone. I came all the way out here to the old post office, but the camera battery won't stay in. Can't even turn the thing on without physically pushing and holding the battery in place. Carl must have fucked the thing up more than I originally thought. When I get back to the motel, I'll have to see if I can fix it. Otherwise, I'll probably have to download some pictures off the county website and just narrate over them. I should have scanned those photos I found at City Hall, because going back there now doesn't seem like a great idea. I close my eyes, letting my legs lead the way as I step through the tall grass and back onto the dirt road. It's hot today, way hotter than it usually is in late spring. Everything is kind of hazy too, like there's wildfire air blowing downwind through Echo. Those usually drive my allergies nuts, but so far I'm not feeling too stuffed up or itchy. As screwed up as it sounds, I always kind of liked when there's a big fire in state. I mean, sure, it sucks sneezing all the time and having my nose feel scratchy, but I love the burning smell. It reminds me of barbecues. It doesn't smell like that now, though that does remind me. I pull out my phone. It's 10:03 a.m. Jenna texted earlier. Chase, Leo wants to set up his grill at the hill behind your house around early afternoon, I think. If you want to stop by, you can. When we were kids, sometimes my dad would let us roll a little charcoal grill up there and try cooking ourselves. My dad always said it was to keep a wide buffer between us and the house, so we didn't accidentally burn the place down. After Flynn set a bush on fire in our backyard during Labour Day, I kind of understood the sentiment. I exhale, shoving my phone back in my pocket. Interesting, Leo decides to schedule it while Flynn is still working. I bring my thumb and forefinger above my muzzle and press the space between my eyes. I sniff, smelling the faint scent of musty ash that seems to cling to my fur even after the shower I took this morning. And just like that, my blood seems to cool. I get that weird stuttering feeling you have in your heart when you remember something you don't want to. Last night doesn't seem real. I can't believe shit like that exists, just past where I grew up. How long has that place been around? Doesn't even have a name. I searched the address some more when I got home, but I didn't find anything online. I mean, I've been in gay bars before up in Peyton, usually because some girl I'm friends with drags me there. But nothing quite like that. At least Daxton seemed not to hate it completely by the time we left. Turns out the middle-aged horse guy was an old dastry, a term for people who really like a dastro. Daxton and him hit it off pretty well while I was away. Carl, meanwhile, was already passed out in my car by the time we got back. It was an awkward car ride home. A strange sense of sad nostalgia takes hold of me as I approach the faded white, all-brick structure that was my home. The white picket fence that surrounded the exterior is all but gone now. A few remaining posts are scattered all over the yard, some half buried in loose barren topsoil. I remember Dad always made me paint it every summer. I'd pitch a huge fit because I hated it. Working at 110-degree temperatures with scratchy bramble getting stuck in my pads, not to mention the dirt on the paintbrush. Dad never was happy with how it turned out anyway. He'd yell at me for laziness and doing a poor job. He claimed I had no aptitude for work, first placing the blame on me playing too many video games, then Leo. People are supposed to have a sense of satisfaction in their work, but every moment away from an escapist diversion seemed to make me miserable. I cooped myself up in my room with a big-ass plug-in fan, watching TV, daydreaming about fictional guys and eating just an absurd amount of cereal. I sigh as I walk over an old plot where Mom's garden used to be. According to City Hall, this place is abandoned and condemned now. I step up to the window of my old bedroom, squinting through the dusty glass and spying the familiar turquoise shag carpet inside. All the furniture is gone and spider webs hang from every corner. There's some graffiti on the wall as well, a gang sign or something that looks like a crooked red number 8. Seeing it, I'm left with a feeling of unease, like the sanctity of what was once mine has been taken away. I don't exactly pine for the days of being stuck in there. There's this overwhelming pang of awareness that those times have passed, never coming back. The worries had grown up are gone, replaced by those visceral, very adult concerns about money, jobs, debt. I'll never have a group of friends like I did back then. A sharp whistle breaks my train of thought. I spin around and see the silhouette of 2 figures up on the hill overlooking the house. Leo and Jenna. After a moment, TJ walks up next to them and waves. Hi, Chase. I lift my paw up, offering a limp wave in return. Next thing I know, TJ's making his way down the slope, Leo right behind him. Jenna follows shortly after. Chase, it's good to see you again. The lynx looks tired, all things considered, the tips of his fur tinged with the orangish dirt of the area. Still, he's beaming at me regardless. It's good to see you too, actually. TJ cocks his head. Actually? I blink. Yeah, what do you mean by that, Otter? Leo has a stern voice, his eyes hard upon me. I mean, you know what I mean. A smirk appears at the edge of the wolf's muzzle, and he steps up to me, slugging my shoulder with enough force to sting a bit. Well, astonishingly, it's good to see you as well. I wince a bit from the blow. Leo reaches over and ruffles my head fur. Oh, sorry. He grins a little awkwardly. He seems cheery overall. It's hard to believe he's the same Leo that just yesterday I was hiding in the bathroom cupboard from. I try not to look too tense. Next time, hit him harder. Jenna gives me an edged look, though there's warmth to her eyes. Jenna. She looks me over, then glances toward the road. I'm surprised you didn't drive. We found a picnic table in one of the yards of the abandoned houses. We set it up over there. He points to the base of the hill slope, where sure enough an old wooden picnic table sits. And TJ was okay with this? The lynx frowns, digging his toes into the dirt. Well, as long as we put it back when we're done. You're becoming quite the rebel, TJ. I manage to smile at him. He looks slightly aghast, though Leo chuckles. We should put the hot dogs on the grill now. The bacon won't take as long. Jenna turns, making her way over to the table. Beside is the green portable propane grill, like the sort used for camping trips. On top of the grill are a couple of Ziploc bags. We're going to grab these fancy pepper jack hot dogs we got in Peyton, and some applewood smoked bacon. Oh, that sounds good. We even got some tofu dogs for Carl. Just like old times, yeah? Hope we've gone better at cooking since then, but where's Carl? Leo shrugs, TJ chiming in. Maybe he slept in. It's kind of early. For him, I mean. We make our way over toward Jenna. Leo's tail wags slightly as he walks. I set my gear down and peer at the table. The thing is dirty as hell, probably over a decade of dust and weather etched into the wood and metal. I can't remember what neighbour this belonged to. Over the years, there were so many. Usually hippies or retirees seeking to get away from the hustle and bustle of urban, even suburban living. Most became rather disillusioned with the idea of Echo being some lovely desert escape, after about a month of living here though. I glance up at Leo. He looks back at me. He's taken the hot dogs out of the packaging and getting them set up on the grill. The wolf doesn't say anything, and neither do I. He keeps making the same, faintly awkward smile whenever I look at him too long. TJ and Jenna have sat down the table and are digging through a weathered backpack. Jenna takes out some paper plates, setting out a small stack and weighing them down with the rocks so they don't blow away. That seems kind of unhygienic. Oh, don't worry, we won't eat off that one. She looks up and over at me. We'll just give it a chase. TJ frowns and shakes his head. I sigh, furrowing my brows some. Look, I'm sorry I haven't been around much this whole trip. I kind of regret it too. Really? The fennec responds with a tone of faint surprise, but when we lock eyes she seems to waver some. She crosses her arms over her tank-top chest, looking down then back up again. It's okay. It's been an interesting few days for us. I raise a brow inquisitively. Yeah, same here. Jenna smiles in an apologetic fashion. I move to sit next to her. TJ reaches in the bag and holds up a few bottles of condiments to me. We got jalapeno ketchup, radish, spicy mustard, and a bag of chopped onions. That sounds delicious, TJ. Yes, I know. It's a spice cut overload, but it's to appease Leo's iron palate. Hearing his name, Leo waves at us. You know, I read an article once that people who like spicy foods have masochistic tendencies. Jenna rolls her eyes, glancing to Leo, then back to me. Only you could confirm that in Leo's case. As the article, yes, I've heard that before. It's pop psychology and based off survey statistics. What about me? One of Leo's ears flicks to point in our direction. Chase was just telling us about your masochistic tendencies. Leo stops what he's doing, looking at us with slightly widened eyes. My what? Oh, God. I cover my face with my paw. I wouldn't say I'm into that. You shouldn't be talking about people behind their back, Chula. He says this teasingly, stretching out some aluminium foil on the grill and placing the strips of bacon on it. Someone should have told you that earlier. You've been talking about Chase non-stop this week. Leo stiffens some, then tries to laugh it off. What? We were just worried about him. He looks to me. Where's Flynn? Where's Flynn been all unstable and shit? TJ flinches at the swearing. I'm surprised the lynx was unperturbed during the masochism talk. Maybe he doesn't know what that is? I rub my arms apprehensively, peering at Jenna. What sort of stuff was he saying about me? Jenna looks in that wry way she does when she finds herself in a position of advantage over Leo. Leo looks at her, anxious. Nothing bad, Alter. I bet my neck. Maybe it's best if you two find some time to talk alone today. The Fennec looks at Leo, as if having delivered an act of supreme mercy. Leo, in turn, looks grateful, keenly aware he's become indebted by the act. Right. You're planning on it anyway, I think? Jenna just nods. Good. You all need to stop distracting the cook here. Chase, can you... Past the sizzle of the grill, the clops of hooves on dirt becomes audible. TJ cranes his neck and to peer past Leo, then smiles. Carl! And, oh, hi. Yo. Hi. Carl immediately plops himself down the table across from me, the ram rubbing his eyes with his fists. Daxton, meanwhile, lingers at the end. His eyes are on me as if waiting for something. Oh, hey, Daxton. I didn't know you were coming. Carl invited me. I wasn't really doing much else today. I put on a smile, but seeing the two just sort of reminds me all of last night. Good to meet you. I'm Jenna. Jenna offers a quick nod. Meanwhile, TJ seems to bolt up, offering a paw to the tall salamander. Hi, I'm TJ. It's good to meet a friend of Carl's. Daxton looks a little surprised, shaking TJ's paw before looking back to me. Still has that same expectant expression on his face. Daxton? Flynn's roommate, right? Leo strolls up beside him, spatula in grasp. I'm said roommate, yeah. Wait, you look familiar. Leo squints. You're the Vespa guy. Daxton looks back toward the road. Yeah, I drive a Vespa. Why? Leo lets out a humoured noise, rubbing his brow with his free paws. He grins. You came to my dad's shop about the oil leak in that thing. Daxton blinks in realisation. Oh, Alvarez Auto up in Peyton. Yeah, I went there. Well, that thing was a damn nightmare. At first I thought you were just using the wrong type of oil, since that's the most common reason. People don't know they gotta use motorcycle oil, which lathers the transmission, gears, valves, and all that. Plus it's less thick. Well, the thing was still leaking. So next I drained the overflow tube on the airbox and troubleshooted. Took me about 2 hours till I figured out it had to do with the piston rings being worn out. Problem is, your little ride's a damn special overseas import, yeah? There's no place has the replacement parts you need for at least 7,000 miles. I inherited it from my uncle in the old country. I guess that's why it took so long. Yeah, can't say I'd ever worked on a machine like that prior to you, so thanks for the experience. Like I was saying, my dad owns that place. I'm Leo Alvarez. Leo extends out a paw, though with less gusto than TJ. Leo. I see Daxton's gaze flick to me, his lips pulling a bit tighter on his smooth face. He takes the paw, shaking it. Leo pokes a brow. Judging by the look on your face, you heard of me? A wee bit. Oh, good, I hope. Leo smiles lopsidedly. Not really, but whatever. The response elicits a collective irk from most of us. The salamander withdraws his hand and Leo looks a little gobsmacked. Your roommate's Flynn, so I guess that's to be expected. Daxton shrugs and moves to sit at the table next to me. Chase, if you got a minute, could we talk later? Sure. The salamander looks grateful, but doesn't elaborate further. Leo, meanwhile, stands there rotating the spatula in his paws with his eyes on the dirt. After a moment he turns, heading back to the grill with an expression on his face that I can't quite make out. Jenna props her chin up with her paw, smiling faintly at Daxton. Wow. What? Nothing, just musing out loud. Where are you from, Daxton? The salamander rests his hands on the table, rubbing his thumbs together. I've been living in Echo for a year or two. Before that I was in Colville, where I grew up. Yeah. Jenna stopped smiling. Colville? Really? What's wrong with Colville? Yeah, everything, dude. Colville. Isn't that the place where the lampposts have little cowboy hats on top of them? Oh yeah, they have the cobblestone streets there. I went for a field trip once. That place is too rich, even for me. They put up those creepy smiling native mannequins on the sidewalks as decorations. Like it isn't grossly offensive, noting its history. Oh yeah, they shot that one big western film there. The one with Jack Giddy who's searching for some family's daughter got abducted by the Meseta. The town sort of rode off the fame of that movie for the past 40 years, or what it seems like. Daxon looks at all of us, crossing his arms tightly over his chest. It hasn't been doing as well as it used to. Westerns aren't exactly as big as they used to be. It's kind of a shame that. It's not really surprised note how tasteless most of them were. Carl shifts in his seat a bit awkwardly. TJ speaks up. Speaking of all West stuff, how goes the project chase? You said you couldn't hang out with us because you were working on it. Jenna reaches in the backpack and pulls out a notebook, laying it out in front of her. We were bored of the motel, so we did some research ourselves. If you want to discuss your findings, that is. I feel put on the spot, mainly since most of what I've done so far has been shooting B-roll. Apparently my house used to be a castle. A castle? Yeah, I looked up Carl's house at City Hall. Records showed this big medieval-looking place. There was some sort of collapse in 1915. Well, living in a castle would be pretty cool. Not that I need more space, but you get what I mean. House Hendricks, the Lords of Echo. I'd watch that show. You'll probably have too much sex and violence for you, man. I truly doubt there'll be much of the former with you on it. Carl lets a little snicker while drifting his gaze to the sizzling grill nearby. Even Daxon seems to smirk a bit. Yeah, if you say so. TJ flinches at the lewd talk and Jenna quickly shifts her tone. Continue, Chase. Well, that's the thing. Carl's ancestors founded the town. I think Flynn's family are the ones who mainly controlled it during the 20th century. There's tons of more names in the records for leadership positions. Well, we're too busy making ice cream, I guess. Now, speaking of, I'm starving. How much longer, man? He calls out to Leo, the wolf looking over his shoulder. Well, unless you want your hot dogs medium rare, just a little longer, yeah? Jenna waves off the boy's banter, speaking to me again. That's strange, not in Flynn's species. Reptilians weren't readily trusted by majority society in this country until relatively recently. I shrug. I'm not sure whether it's relevant to what I'm trying to cover. I mean, I haven't been able to find anything about the initial 1877 hysteria incident. It's like all those files are just gone. I pause, chew my lower lip as I remember something. Some legal documents I found, concerning the mine? I don't know, but go on. It was mentioned of some sort of messed up murder happening in the mine in 1915 that somehow resulted in a riot. No mention was made of the 1877 hysteria event, though. Jenna pulls her notes up, her eyes bouncing left and right as she speed reads. That's interesting. You mentioned that year earlier, 1915. The census recording shows a large drop of population between 1910 and 1920. I couldn't find any economic justification for it since the mine continued to operate. The railroad line still serviced Echo. Daxon holds up his hand. So, sorry, I'm trying to catch up to what you guys are trying to figure out here. Are you saying these mine murders caused Echo to lose all its people? The correlations don't imply causation. This was Chase's video, not an academic paper. You know how it is. Being interesting is more important than being thorough. Your page should be called Top 10 Reasons Echo Depopulated when you will mine murder. You all believe reason 2. Right, throw some boobs up on the thumbnail image and post on the Pueblo website. I frown. I'm used to hearing how the internet age has made modern journalism sort of a joke now, but it still stings. This isn't for the website or anything, this is just a class project. It might be even less, dude. Not even getting paid. Oh, you're paying them thousands. They should give you some slack. I need to build up my portfolio because right now all it has is a fluff piece about the Pueblo GSA's Pride concert. Still got a few more days, Chase. It's like you can't do your project and hang out with us at the same time. Daxton looks a tad hangdog, speaking up from beside me. Hope I'm not imposing on y'all's reunion time. I'll see what I can do, and you're fine, Daxton. The thought strikes me that tomorrow is the day Flynn plans to question TJ. I don't think anyone will be in much of a hanging out mood after that. Maybe I should warn him? After yesterday, I don't know if I should give a damn what Flynn wants. But maybe that's too harsh. Maybe I just don't want to think about him right now. I hear the sound of heavy steps on soil and the wafting smell of cooked meat fills my nose. Glancing up, Leo's standing over me. He holds out a pair of tongs with a plate of bacon and hot dogs. Buns and booze are in the cooler. As if rehearsed, Jenna picks up a small plastic cooler from beside the table. She rips open the packaging and distributes the buns accordingly. Is it just alcohol in there? TJ sounds disappointed. I got you some juice pouches, Teach, don't you worry. Yay, thank you. He smiles appreciatively. Daxton seems to peer curiously at the lynx while taking a hot dog for himself. Leo looks a bit reluctant toward Daxton. You guys eat meat? Daxton's ready to absolutely cover his hot dog with ketchup. By you guys, you mean salamanders? Leo nods. I finally get a bun and begin to assemble my hot dog, wrapping it in bacon. Oh yeah, we eat meat. My grandpa used to say you should never trust somebody who doesn't. Carl looks up. Except for Carl. He's cool and trustworthy as all hell. The ram tries to force a tofu dog into his maw to hide the big smile forming on his muzzle. Jenna looks at them curiously, waiting for TJ to finish placing relish on his cut-up, bunless hot dog. Carl swallows, speaking up finally. I guess your grandpa's at least half wise, dude, man. Daxton shakes his head. Nah, not really. He's a major speciesist and hated Jews. TJ chokes on his juice a little and Jenna pats his back a few times. Whose grandpas didn't? TJ stares at them furrow-browed and wide-eyed. Mine! Boys. Jenny gives us a look, speaking that same old maternal tone she's been using since she was 10. I merely shake my head. Leo comes around and sits on the remaining spot at the end of the table. Jace! I look up, quickly finishing my bite of bacon. That is my name? I was going to ask you earlier. Got my speaker set up, hooked my plays on my phone. Pick us out some music, will you? He gestures to a pill pod looking thing with his phone sticking out of it near the grill. Any guidelines? Stay out of the sample music folder. He smirks. What a callback. I rise up to my feet and head over the speaker. I pick it up and squint at the phone screen, the overhead sun casting quite a glare. I see a few playlists on here. Which one should I pick? Let's maybe try Cousin Angel's Rocky P. Huh. Not super high quality, but it'll work. Well, that's my cousin's band. Pretty good, yeah? Reminds me of Cherry Bloom back when they were still in their garage band days. I find myself smiling a bit. TJ and Cherry Bloom are like Daxter and Adastra. The lynx pushes himself to his feet. Good choice, Chase. Okay, I guess. Leo reaches in the cooler and grabs a spare bottle of hard lemonade. He makes his way over, handing one bottle to me and keeping one for himself. I give Leo a grateful nod, hitting the bottle top against the edge of the grill to get the cap off. Unfortunately, the top just shatters, plain shattered glass on the ground. Christ! Leo just laughs, taking a swig of his own drink. Well, I suppose with that little gesture, it's dancing time. Jenna stands up as well. I'm not sure if this is her type of music. She begins swaying to the beat regardless. Aren't you supposed to do that for a new boat? Well, I'm still eating. Next thing I know, Leo's popping his shoulders up and rolling his arms. Leo used to be great at dancing, but that was when he was 4 inches shorter and 40 pounds thinner. It's kind of giving me Dad at a cookout vibes, which in turn is starting to give me a mild midlife crisis by proxy. TJ soon joins in. The Link's doing some basic shuffles. I look down at my feet. Yeah, fuck it. I'm not alright. Natural entertainer. Let's see. Oh, let's just dance with you. I'm not sure exactly safe to drink out of a bottle with a broken top, but I might as well try. The cuts in my throat will make the alcohol work quicker, right? After avoiding Leo for the past day, it might be best to not ignore him right now. I'm still wary as hell about the way Leo's been acting, embarrassed over my own behaviour. But he's still Leo. He's the closest I've gotten to another person. Plus, somebody needs to stop him from doing that lawnmower move the 8th time in a row. He spots me walking toward him and his whole face seems to light up. Otter! Leo. Dance with me? I smile lopsidedly. Somebody has to. I can feel the other's eyes upon me as Leo and I move a little closer together. I keep things simple, doing some basic two-steps in the roll of my waist, no gimmick moves. Leo begins to catch on and does the same. We've done this before, after all. Leo dragged me every prom, junior prom and homecoming dance there was. Haters be damned. I wasn't much of those sorts of things. He was the varsity football guy, so by unwritten high school law he's expected to go to those things. It's still good to talk later? Yeah. Sounds good. Leo's gaze drifts past me toward the table. He's quiet for a moment, simply moves into the rhythm. Hey. Do you remember when we... It takes me a moment. My eyes widen and I feel my neck begin to burn. Oh, God. Hey, you're the one who sits on putting ketchup on it. Should have put the jalapeno ketchup on it. Leo smiles cheekily. Won't bother me. I'm the spicy Latino, remember? He rumbles some. Look on your face when I could barely fit in the bun. Now my cheeks are absolutely burning. Man, you jerk. Whose idea was it again? My crotch smelled like a concession stand for a week. It's not my fault you don't know how to properly wash. Okay, says Mr. Muskie himself. I let out a large puff of air. Feels just like when we were a couple. And that's the scary part. My mind reels back to Leo's confrontations with Flynn these past few days, his violent behaviour. I take a step back, clear my throat. Let's just dance, okay? I hear ya. We continue on, it feels like just an hour passes. Before we get into a whole other scene, I think that's a good spot to leave Echo for now. Yeah, sorry I had to cut that whole smoke room scene, but like I said, a little iffy, shall we say, if the rest of it isn't iffy enough. But there'll be more Echo, hopefully it was not such a long gap this time. Yeah, I still have to do Dawn Chorus, I'll try next week. This week just got so busy that I haven't had a chance to do that. And Nevin, as I record this, just came out yesterday with the new build. So next weekend is Nevin. We'll be seeing what's going on there. And after that, I'm not quite sure, might be more Burrows and Mark's route. So I'll have to check the schedule. But yeah, that's a couple of things coming up on the channel next couple of weeks. And before I go, as always, I want to say thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You are just so appreciated. And my top patrons are Andy Peng, Aaron Fox, Bastian, Baker, Brian Hall, Copus Visser, Dissonance, Exact, Grizz, Harvey's Mouse Productions, Evan King, Kartek, Kenya, Omar, Spiderling, Smuto, Tiger Cub, Amaterasu, Alan Mayer, Greylock, Hyperdefined, Lark Huskerton, and Gracious Yevon. And also thanks to the Echo Project team for doing this and starting up the whole channel, which is, I believe, in March, something like that, approaching some ridiculous number, like 7 or 8 years of videos. I'll have to look it up. It's a stupid amount of videos I've done over the years, over 500 now. Yeah. all started with Echo, which is why I'm working my way through to do the entire thing less bad endings. But that is it for now. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.